Hello and welcome to SCS Round Table and our discussion today on career and technical education in Sarasota County. So joining me in this first segment are Lori White, Superintendent of Schools. We have the Executive Director of SCTI, Todd Bowden, and our special guest, Mark Huey, the CEO of the Economic Development Corporation. So welcome everyone for coming today. Thank you. So first I'm going to start with you, Todd, to explain to our viewers, because CTE to some is a new term. So how is it different from the old VOTEC schools that we used to go to?
I think a good starting point is to talk about when we used the term VOTEC, there was almost a segmenting of students. Is that at some point in a student's educational career, someone said, you know, college may not be the best track for you. You need to go get a skill that will carry you out into the workforce. So we almost separated our students probably around the 7th, 8th grade level. Career and technical education is more of an integrated approach. It's for all students, and it talks about the application of skills. When you go into a nursing classroom here at SCTI, we have high school students there. There are students that will leave that program and become practical nurses. There are students in that classroom who aspire to be doctors and have master's degrees. And so career and technical education is about finding a career for you, obtaining some skills, so if you need to go out and work immediately that you can do that, but also kind of finding your place and understanding what the options are. We talk a lot about career ladders, and that in healthcare there's everything from a CNA, which you can do after about 4 weeks of study, to doctors who study for 10, 12 years to get their specialty.
Okay. So Mark, why is having a school such as this in Sarasota County important to the EDC and our economy?
Oh yeah, it's just hugely important, and we're proud of the things that are going on here. If you were to sit with an employer and ask them whether they're small company, large company, and you said, Mr. CEO, what are your biggest challenges? You wouldn't get very far in that conversation without them sharing getting talented, capable workforce. And you know, at the end of the day, a business is about people and executing on that business. And so whether it's a large or small employer, they're challenged there. And so this program, CTE program, is really hitting employers at their point of need. And so it's that part of our school system that is really hitting employers at their point of need. So it's hugely important.
So Lori, then how do we go about in the school district deciding what kind of curriculum we're going to offer here?
Well, it's critical in terms of those decisions that we're talking with our businesses. What kind of talent is required? What do you see in your future so we can begin to develop that talent? And that means also for existing programs that we continue to have those conversations, because the skill set changes. As technology changes, we have to be responsive to that. So we have to have this ongoing conversation, assessing the needs, both within the fields we're currently working with, but seeing what are the things on the edges? What are the prospects of bringing new business to Sarasota County? How can we begin that conversation that really unites job opportunities with the training required to develop that talent?
Yeah, and what Lori described there, you know, was so important, this idea of connecting with our local businesses. And as she shared, you know, to really dialogue with them about what's going on in their business, what are the skills that they need in their workforce, and how can the school system relate to that? Because if a business is thinking about coming to our community, relocating here, that's what they want to hear as a school superintendent and their staff talking that way, that they are very interested in connecting with them as a business owner, as a business leader, and hearing about how can the school system be responsive to their needs. So just, again.
Very important.
Yeah.
So in responding then to the needs, because many think of Sarasota, it's a destination for vacation, so you tend to think of restaurants, hotels, so the hospitality area, but there are other types of business here, and I know that the county wants to attract other business, and one of our programs was specifically came about because of those kinds of conversations. Why don't you talk
Absolutely,
about that?
and it's a great case study. And you're talking about our precision machining program, which was a direct response to the leadership role that the business community took in regards to saying there is a manufacturing sector. We are strong. We're here in Sarasota. We're not projecting vacancies. We have vacancies today, but we need some support. We need a training program. And they spoke with one voice. They spoke very clearly, and we responded to that need. And I think it's a great case study in regards to how do we develop new programs. There was a study. It was fact-based. We knew that the vacancies existed. One of the things we always struggle with is the timing of a program, is that we don't want to get too far out ahead. We don't want to, quote, develop a pool of workers. We want placements at graduation. And so we need to know that the jobs are there. The report was so important in doing, this isn't speculation, we'll hire your graduates tomorrow. When can you start graduating them? But the specific skills. They wrote the curriculum. They selected the instructor. They selected the equipment.
Wow.
Sarasota County stepped up with a grant to buy the equipment. Just if you had to write a textbook on how to start a new program, I think precision machining would be a great case study to do that with.
Yeah, it really was. And again, it is, as a case study, just sort of represents the commitment of the community, and the school system is part of that, of wanting to be responsive to business, and in the context of diversifying our economy away from just tourism, which we love tourism, nothing wrong with it, and the retirement industry. But we have people don't realize that we have somewhere over 300 manufacturers in our community. And everyone's aware of like a Tervis tumbler because they're large, or PGT, the window maker, again, very large employer. But most of the manufacturers are smaller. They're 20 or 30 employees, and so when a community goes out and does the kind of surveying to really reach out to all of them and try to hear what they're saying about what their challenges are for employees, and then develops a very sophisticated response. And one thing Todd didn't say, it was all done in less than a year.
Which is really record time.
Which
For
because it
governmental
involved
agencies to cooperative
yeah, because it
businesses.
involved at the end of the day
Everybody.
the school board had to make a commitment. Todd had to actually write a change order because construction was already underway here at the school. He had to really change plans in process to really react to it. And then the county commission had to also make a commitment. So for all of that to come together in a year is really quite telling about the school board, the school system's commitment to really being responsive to industry.
And I think it also speaks to how important all entities in the community working together, and that we are all trying to work together to make something happen. Lori, can you think of any other types of business associations, or maybe some things that might be in the work for the future?
Well, certainly part of our commitment is also to have our students understand the opportunities that are available for careers in Sarasota County. You know, a middle school student, when they hear manufacturing, they might think, oh, what a tedious type of job that would be, and they have no idea how exciting manufacturing can be in this day and age of technology and the new opportunities that are here. So I think part of
and the salaries.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the graduates of this program, we expect that their starting salaries will be over $30,000.
Goodness.
And after 5 years of a career in that field, they can be in the $50,000 to $80,000 range. So we're really equipping students for very nice careers. Very nice salaries.
And
So
middle
what-
schoolers don't really think of that.
Well, and we have to help expose them to what is it like that might be bringing those opportunities or those visuals to the classroom. It may be a job shadowing where we would have those students venture out and to see what's happening in different careers. So there's opportunities for us to continue that relationship with our businesses as we engage our students to see what they need to think about and not rely on their perceptions of what opportunities are here, but really go out there, internships. So we're going to continue to strengthen that relationship beginning at as early as the middle school grades.
Yeah, one area that was very responsive, part of our work is the Film Commission. And we work very hard to bring film business to our community. And so just a couple of years ago, the the digital media program was launched here, which gives students a chance to learn about film production skills, media production skills. And again, it fits into our strengths of having a place like Ringling College, the long-term commitment the school system has to creative arts, and but this is equipping someone for a career in that field.
Absolutely.
And so again, another example of responsiveness to opportunity and where we hope to encourage growth in business in our community.
We have had several of those students down here as interns. They come after school, they spend summers here with us, and it's a wonderful relationship, and also, allowed us to be in this fabulous place
Right.
to do these kinds of programs to help inform and educate our community about what is going on in Sarasota County schools. So Todd, let's talk a little bit more. We have a couple more minutes because we haven't hit maybe precisely on if someone wanted to come to SCTI as, let's target the adults, what would be the process and what kinds of classes or careers would they come besides the manufacturing?
We are trying to focus our marketing efforts around career in a year. And what that really says to a student is if you can think of an occupation that requires 1 year or less of technical training, then we probably have a program for you here on this campus. There are 44 different programs in 13 different career clusters, so it's a broad offering of programs. Those programs are everywhere from a 150-hour CNA course to a 900-hour precision machining, to our academies for fire science and criminal justice. And so if you just think of a year with a year's worth of technical training, what kind of career could I enter into? We'd like to think we have a program for you. And if we don't, then we engage our local partners and say, is there a need here in our community? And we have start dates throughout the year. The most popular start date is the August start date when the traditional school year starts. But we start students throughout the year into their programs. Many have multiple start dates, so you'll go into a classroom and find students in various points in their study. But it's as easy as calling our student services and asking for an appointment to see a guidance counselor. It's very rare that someone walks through our front door and says, I need some training. They come in very specifically and say, I want to be an auto tech. They have a goal when they come in, and so we can help them. If they're not that targeted, we have some career surveys in which we can kind of hone in on a broad range of careers, give them some information about the job market, because that's always the first question. How long is the program?
And will I get a job when I get out?
And what should I expect to make? And so we do provide that information. We have placement rates for all of our programs. Our most recent filing with our accrediting body, we have an 85% placement rate, which means 85% of the students who complete a program find a job in field.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Awesome. Very good. Well, we are out of time for this segment. Anybody have a last comment they'd like to share?
Yeah, I was going to share, when you're looking at bringing new jobs here and growing jobs, it's a very dynamic economy we're in now. And it's going to be it's a global economy, and it's changing so quickly. And the kind of jobs that are out there now are going to be different in 5 years. And the kind of careers you're planning for people are so different now than they were just 5 years ago. And I think that's why having this kind of a program and the responsiveness to industry that you've heard about is so critical, because I think for the communities who are going to succeed in the economy of the future are going to be those that are responsive like this. No one can guess what's going to be out there in 10 years. So you've got to be flexible, responsive, and connected to your industries in the way that we've been talking about today.
All right, thank you very much for joining me today and sharing this information with our viewers. Viewers, stay with us. We will be right back for more CTE discussion with Lori White, Todd Bowden, and board member Frank Kovach. We'll be right back.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6. To me, being the first person to go to college, it's like setting a standard, you know? My little brother is 8 years old now. I challenge his curiosity. I challenge him to dream. I have to paint a picture for him that he can look up to and live up to and possibly be better than. My name is Jaquez, and I am your dividend.
Hi, welcome back to Roundtable and the topic of career and technical education. I'm joined again in this segment by Lori White, Superintendent of Schools, and we also have Todd Bowden, the Executive Director of SCTI, and new in this segment, Board Member Frank Kovach. So welcome everyone to this second segment. So in the first segment, we spent quite a bit of time talking about CTE and its impact on the economy. So Frank, what I'd like to ask you first, now that you're joining us, is why are SCTI and CTE important to you, not only as a business person in the community, but as a board member?
Well, I think it's important that we have the careers and the jobs for students to stay here. Everybody always hears about how everybody has to go away to have a career and raise a family, and that wasn't my experience, and it's not the experience of my kids personally. And I just want to give everybody in the community the opportunity to stay here and get a good quality job.
Yeah, well, excellent. So why invest then in this new facility? We've in other segments we've talked about construction and facility and finances. So why this new facility? What do you think it's going to contribute to their education?
Well, my career was always in air conditioning. I'm a licensed contractor, and just like most skills anymore, it's all 21st century. Everything's driven with computers. And just like we've done in our high schools and our middle schools, upgrading to 21st century skill sets, I think we need to do the same thing and here at SCTI, and obviously that wasn't an option with anybody that saw the old school and went to the old classes knows that you just couldn't do 21st century skills in those.
Right.